Hello, hello, and welcome to The Lord of the Rings: The Battle for Middle-earth 2. This is replay number 35. So, let's jump into a game and take a look. Don't have many left. We'll do a three players versus 5 brutal AIs. We'll watch that one. It's probably interesting. We will be outnumbered in this game, so that's always a challenge. And brutal AIs can be quite aggressive, especially when they're all on the same team. So, we have the Destroy, which is the Destroyer 001, myself, as Isengard right there. We have Juggernauts as the men right there. And we have the Long Con as Mordor right there. So, that is our team. And we are versing a Dwarf, a Mordor, another Mordor, yet more Mordor, an Isengard. Yeah, that's it. So, 3 Mordors, a Dwarf, and an Isengard. So there's only one good team on that, which would be the Dwarves. Yeah, okay. So this should be interesting. And looks like Longcon's opting to open with Orc Warriors of some kind. Yep, Orc Warriors. So he's probably going to Orc Spam. Orc Spam can be effective at times. The men is opening with farms. I guess that's alright. I have opened with alerts. And crossbows coming out. And some Uruk-hai swordsmen. So it looks like I'm trying to get my army out quickly, because I know I'm going to be in the forefront of the fight. I'm also capturing the boat dock for whatever reason. I don't build boats, but, well, I say that. Sometimes I build them. If I'm feeling very saucy. I don't know. Right. So, my troops have come out. That's good. Mordor is already on the attack with his Orc Warriors. Looks like he's purchased Tainted Land as well. I guess that's a good buy. I normally go for the Eye of Sauron as the power, but that's actually probably better for this situation, so you don't have to micromanage it as much. And it looks like some Dwarf Pikemen are already getting into the base. Looks like Lurtz is taking on some guys in bow mode, which is not the best way to melee attack someone. Hopefully I switch him to sword soon. So I do have 2 things of swordsmen, 1 thing of crossbows. That's a pretty good defense, especially with Lurtz. So this should be able to take on whatever Isengard throws at me, hopefully. Assuming, like, this Mordor, who's building up quite a big army here, and this Mordor doesn't send their stuff my way, that would be difficult for me. And there's also Mordor here, who's sending troops north to attack Long Con. So Long Con's going to have a lot to deal with here. Lots of dwarves. Look at all these axe throwers they have. Holy crap. 3 battalions of axe throwers. What is that? 3 battalions of guardians and some pikemen. That's a lot for some orc spam to take care of. And what's happening on their men's side? The men are just... they're building a little bit of soldiers. They got some pikemen going. Or pikemen out. Some swordsmen going. Looks like he'll be going towards cavalry and archers of some description. So it's going to be quite the battle for Long Con to stay alive. Fortunately, orcs are very cheap, and he has a lot of orc pits, so he will be able to be keeping them coming non-stop. And this is a good spot for a heroic statue. Hopefully it doesn't get destroyed by these pikemen, but it probably will. Unfortunately, and he will lose his leadership bonus he was getting from that. Looks like I'm making progress against this Isengard down here. Oddly enough, he has some Orc Riders that could easily crush my army, but he doesn't send them in because AI are not the brightest in this game, I will say. But they are fun to play. They're not very good at defense, I've found. The AI is like balls to the wall aggressive, but doesn't really play defense, which I feel is a lacking part of their AI design. But it can make for very challenging games, especially if you're playing a bunch of goblin brutal AIs. They're extremely hard to defend against. But anyway, back to the game. Looks like the Warg Riders are going through my base, ignoring my base entirely, probably going for the men. Yep, going to attack the men's stuff. And he has some Gondor Knights, which are not very good, but they are there. Longcon looks like he has lost Orc Pit. 2 Orc Pits, in fact. I think. He is rebuilding them, though, farther back, which is probably a good idea. If he could get some, like, arrow towers or fear statues, those would be good. Be very useful for his defense. And let's see. Get some mountain trolls in my base. But it looks like they're just passing through. Mordor is most likely... Odd this orange Mordor isn't sending his troops in. I find that very strange, because all the rest of them are. Except for Blue, I guess. Blue's kind of sending him in. He sent some guys up, I saw before. Actually, I think those those mountain trolls in my base were actually blue. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am. It's a lot of orcs. Looks like men have sent some reinforcements over here. He's built some Gondor archers, which I absolutely hate Gondor archers. They're so bad. Against orcs, they'd be amazing, but still I'd prefer to have Athelians if possible. Since he's not really being attacked, I'd like to see him build Athelians. I don't know why you wouldn't. But doesn't look like he's working towards that. He's not working towards Rohirrim either, so strange on that front as well. Looks like Orange has finally decided to move out. I'm actually having trouble. No, that's not my base. I'm doing fine. Some men sent a pikeman to help, that's good. And Mordor is deciding to engage here, so we have a lot of guys to take on. He does have fire arrows on some of his orc archers as well. That will cause my troops to feel the burn, and his troops as well. I am probably in a lot of trouble here. This is a lot of guys. These archer towers do help a lot, especially against weak little orcs who die in one shot generally to a arrow, and they fire fairly rapidly. Crossbows are also good to have, which I now have 2 battalions of. Hopefully I can keep that heroic statue up. There's a lot of blue guys here. Holy cow. Talk about some orc archers. And a lot of Axors as well. So there's a lot of range damage coming here. And he is lucky this Demolisher did not get to his base, because that would be disastrous for Longcon. You do not want to get a Demolisher on your fortress. They do massive amounts of damage. The fact that he has fire arrows is kind of a hindrance. Fortunately, I say fortunately for once, that Gondor Knights are out in the field, so they're not very good either. But against orc archers, they're pretty effective. Isengard and Mordor will continue the attack on us here. Meanwhile, there's a boat there from dwarves. Problem with building boats is they're stuck with these boats. They're doing a little damage right here, which is cool and all, but their command points are stuck on the ocean now, because no one else on our team is going to build a boat or kill the boats, probably. So they will not be able to hit targets. Like, they won't be able to do anything really from where they are. And they will be taking up, I don't know how much command points they take. That's a transport, 12 more ship, 25 command points. So that's 25 command points they can no longer use elsewhere. I really wish there was a option to scuttle boats, like sink your own ship, so you could get your command points back. But unfortunately, or even send them back to the dock to be dismantled, kind of like you send your troops to your fortress to be what's the word I'm looking for? I can't look at it, but requisitioned, I guess. I'll use that word. Sure. But yeah, you can't do that, so you're stuck with the boats. Just don't build boats, is what I'm trying to say. I guess that works. So, let's see what's going on here. They do have a siege works, and it looks like they could be working towards upgrades. You do not want a Urukai with upgrades coming at you. That would not be ideal. There's a Mouth of Sauron here as well. I do have battering rams coming out. Also looks like builders of the enemy were sent behind me, which is strange. AI have a tendency to do that. They build in your base and behind you and stuff. It's like, why would you send your builder in here? But I try not to question the decisions of AI because I understand they're dumb. So that's fine. These orc archers and men of Dale, no less, it's going to be a huge hindrance for those orcs. They kill orcs so quickly that it's going to be, he's going to have constant spam to even stay alive here. So hopefully he doesn't die off. Meanwhile, let's see what's going on. I am sending battering rams around the back of Isengard's base, it looks like. That could turn out quite nicely because AI probably won't see that coming, as you might imagine. AI don't literally, like, they don't see like something and react quickly to it. But I am making quite a bit of headway here. And I have the men defending my area as well with his Gondor archers and pikemen. He still hasn't built Athilians. Very curious. He doesn't have a level 2 archer range yet. Well, I guess he's content on doing that. That's fine. I did 2 battering rams on Isengard's fortress. Oh man. Brutal. Not the AI, but the attack. The AI is brutal, I will say. But battering rams, very, very effective for taking down fortresses and other structures. I use them quite often, and I do enjoy them quite a bit. Looks like they're still trying to get through my base to get to the men's base. He has taken a bit of damage on his archer range, and it looks like he lost both of his stables as well. But that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Especially since this Isengard is now going to be knocked out of the game once his Warg Pit is dead. And then I shall be able to stop the attacks pretty much. Probably from orange and blue, because I will be moving forward, I'd imagine. But we'll see about that. There's also a dwarf mineshaft building here. Dwarves are way over here, so that's kind of weird. AI, huh? Too bad they don't actually use... AI doesn't really use mineshafts, which is kind of a bummer. I think it'd be great if they used their mineshafts to get around. But that probably would take some complex coding of some description. Not sure. I'd say my fortress is plenty safe now. I have all the arrow towers I could get and fire arrows for them, so any orcs to get over there will be no problem to deal with. So we got Tom Bombadil being summoned. I guess that's the men's. Juggernauts, possibly. Yep. Battering ram has taken out a farm, but that's about it. And I am expanding my my farms outwards, downward, to get more money and get more land area. But I'm running out of troops here. And he keeps sending trolls and more men in. This battering ram should probably go like here or something, here, anywhere but there. Our orcs kind of trickling in from the left side, but they're being dealt with quite easily. Longcon does have a lot of orcs now. You see the boat actually doesn't actually do that much damage. It even takes like 3 arrows to kill a orc warrior, which is pretty bad. If you think about it, that's pretty bad damage. And here we have a Mordor doom ship. Amazing. Wow, the doom ship's explosion actually reached all these orc warriors. That is insane. I did not know that it was a thing. I thought whatever explosion did on the water. Well, you learn something, I guess. Every day. So he'll have to replenish his orcs, which shouldn't be too difficult for him, considering how many orc pits he actually has. And the men are reinforcing him as well, since I don't really need it too much. I just heard a Momoko. I know I did. Where is it? I will find this Momoko. There it is. So the AI has built a Momoko. Momokos in 1.6 are pretty strong. They're definitely buffed compared to 1.00, which makes them completely garbage. But they're still 1600-ish resources, and that makes them very expensive. I think they're also 100 command points, which is quite a bit. Do have an attack troll from this blue Mordor. Attack trolls are pretty scary. Also some orcs with some archer fire arrow thingies going on. So it's like orange and blue are working together to go against me here. So I'm going to need more troops, that's for sure. Looks like that's what I'm working on. Also upgrading my siege works to level 2, probably so I can get ballistas. Ballistas are good, especially if you're taking down Mordor fortresses. Mordor fortresses aren't very easy to take down with battering rams. This one might be. No, see, he has a fear statue. I think the fear statue might scare away the battering ram. And also these arrow towers just wreck battering rams, it seems. So to do it from range would probably be a best idea I could have. So ballistas would be a good call. Well, we have a watcher coming up, destroying a catapult. It is potentially going to take out some Mordor buildings, so that's a good use of that. And there's a large force of men and orcs working together here to fight off the AI. I'd imagine eventually they will be able to push forward. Longcon and Juggernauts, as they actually are. They've crossed the river, which is some sort of progress, because that lets them into the dwarf space there. Looks like I'm still going with the battering rams. It's not a bad idea. I do have Saruman now. Saruman, probably my favorite hero to play with as a, just as playing with a hero. He has the most fun powers to use, I feel. And he's just very good. I love the Fireball. I love the Wizard Blast. His level 10 is pretty great as well. And the ability to steal troops, amazing. I don't really care about Speechcraft, but it's still nice. Give target units experience. Not really a bad thing to use. And he has that knockdown against other enemy heroes, which is quite useful. Especially since he, like in 1.00, he couldn't one-on-one a hero, but now he can, which is nice. But it also makes him a little bit overpowered in a way, because no other hero could kill him one-on-one, because they get knocked down. I'm not saying no other hero could, because I think Gimli with Slayer could probably take him out pretty quickly. Or maybe Aragorn with Blade Master or something like that. I don't know if they get knocked down, or what the rate of knockdown is. Speaking of Gimli, there's a Gimli right there. Also a Gloin. So that's going to be difficult for the orcs to kill off. Looks like most of the men's forces have been killed. He still is working with Gondor archers, which I find ridiculous. Also, the Momoko made it this far and almost destroyed his archery range. Kind of surprising. But the men need... He doesn't even have a barracks. It's gotta be said, this Juggernauts fellow is playing worse than a brutal AI, by far. So, he's definitely the weakest link on our team. But, you know, I'm not gonna rip on him for building tons of Gondor archers and not even our barracks. That kind of speaks for itself. But he's doing fine, you know. We don't need him to play amazingly. We just need him to not die and help out. So we don't die. Me and the long con, that is. My base is coming along pretty nicely. It's pretty well defended. I got a lot of Uruk pits here. I got 5, it looks like. Yep. Upgraded siege works to level 3, so I can build explosive mines if I want to. I don't know if I will, but I guess we'll see it about that. Mordor has lots of these archer towers, which these things are actually very effective. Whoa. Alright, well we have a, what's this called? Corsair bombardment ship. Those are actually dangerous. Because those can hit your fortress from the water, which is pretty broken. Most players would not use those. Unless it's like a no rules game. I think these are banned. No, otherwise. But for an AI, that's actually a good purchase. Because players don't want to build boats to counter that, you know? And it can also hit pretty much anywhere in the Mordor base here. So it's going to be a problem for him. It's basically a catapult he can't deal with. Should be hitting his troops and his buildings. So he'll need either a boat or possibly a flying unit, Nazgul, Fellbeast, to take care of that. Something along those lines. Getting a little bit of lag there. Hopefully that clears up. And let's see, Saruman against Mouth of Sauron and Lurtz. Mouth of Sauron won't have much chance there. It's taken out very quickly. And a fireball. Oh yeah. Fire is very devastating against troops in this game. As you'll see, they just melt while walking through fire. That goes for pretty much anything. Troll, not as much. Troll is looking to kill my Saruman. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Nice, doesn't happen. But yeah, fire can be used as a devastating effect if used correctly. See these guys just running through it, start dying. I actually used it yesterday in a game, I believe. I think it was yesterday's game. It was today's game? Not sure. But yeah. I used a fireball and then kited guys through the fire, the other player, and it was pretty devastating. So you can use fire to great effect. So, still spamming out lots of orcs. I don't see him changing his strategy up much. It's working pretty well. At least it's keeping him alive. Oh, he does have a Fellbeast now. That will make a huge difference, assuming he doesn't lose it. Also, we have a Momokill coming in. Very cool unit. I love the Momokill. Momokill has to be the coolest unit in the game, I'd say. It's a giant elephant. Huge tusks. And guys on top. It's pretty cool. But it is taking a lot of arrow fire. So it will go down fairly quickly once it gets close, and it catches on fire. Yeah, that's not good. I do have a large blob of Uruk stuff here. I have a battery, not a battery, a ballista, surrounded by lots of troops. So I should be able to push to the southern peninsula soon. I guess it's not really a peninsula, part of the continent, whatever this is. Part of the map. Let's just say that. Oh. It's the enemy has actually built a farm here. Okay. I was gonna say. Also, this is a decent strategy if you can't expand your farms. It allows you to keep your command points up as well as hit multiple farms for industry. See, these are making 39, this one's making like 89. So still making a decent amount of money. But he's able to get the command point limit up as well as keep him safe from attack. And buff the resources out of them, because normally they'd be pretty bad. by doing that. So it's a good tactic if you're playing defense to build a lot of farms behind your place. So you can actually keep your command points up to combat the enemy. It looks like I am pushing south now. Gotta cut through these trolls and corsairs and such to get through here. Hopefully I don't walk my entire army through that fire. I have a tendency to do that sometimes. That's why using Saruman's fireball can be quite dangerous. Oh, ballista shotting one single corsair. A little excessive. There's a cat. Oh, there's 3 catapults actually here. 4 catapults, because there's Mordor one as well. So Longcon will be in a bit of trouble here. He's losing a bunch of his arrow towers to these catapults. There's also attack trolls and dwarves coming in. I think that's my reign because our troops still have the leadership bonus. So the enemy troops will not have leadership bonuses if they have any, which they would if King Dame was around some guys. It's the only other way I can think that they would ever get it, since everyone else is evil. So none of the Mordor teams have a leadership hero, and the Isengard team is dead. So no alerts will be produced from him. Oh, battle wagon, that could be bad. If used correctly, this battle wagon could be completely devastating. But fortunately, it doesn't look like the AI is smart enough to just keep it going. Also, flying units, basically a direct counter to catapults. So if you're ever having a huge catapult problem, make sure you build a flying unit or something if you can. Because they destroy them in one hit, and they can destroy multiple ones if they're close enough together, which is quite handy. Also, it looks like he got rid of that ship that was on the ocean because of his flying unit. So I do have all my upgrades. I do have a decent amount of troops. I'm falling back though, because there is a flying unit, and I don't probably have any way to deal with this except for Saruman's fireball, which is on cooldown. I have a small amount of archers, so I could be in a little bit of hurt there. That rain is quite loud. Not too loud. I enjoy the sound of rain for some reason, so it doesn't bother me. Too bad you couldn't upgrade orcs with like blades or something. That'd be cool. I do like the black orc warriors from the Rise of the Witch King expansion. They're a neat addition to the Mordor team. I might actually install Rise of the Witch King 2.02 patch. Try that out. Maybe online. It does look interesting. Because I do like the Rise of the Witch King expansion. It's not very... I don't feel it's very balanced. And it's hard to get a game online. But I might try with that. I'm not sure. We will see. Ooh, drummer troll. I do like the drummer troll. I guess there's leadership from drummer trolls. I didn't think of that, because no one ever builds a drummer troll. Drummer trolls can actually be quite effective though, if you just keep them around kind of as a buff stick, to just buff everyone around and not attack with them. Although he is chasing down my battering ram, not doing shit for damage, but it's the thought that counts, I guess. Although he does have a flying unit, so killing both my battering rams immediately. Not much I can do about that. There's a few guys in his base. He's finally upgraded to Athelian Rangers after all this time, so I'm glad to see that. He does have some dwarves in his base, but they should be cleaned up pretty nicely. So he'll just be spamming Athelians, which isn't bad. Athelians are helpful. If you have an army of Athelians behind an army of Orc Warriors, it's actually pretty effective. He does have to be careful with his fell beast here. He's looking a little wounded. And looks like Saruman's coming back down south. But I don't have much troops down here. I do have this. But there is some trolls and mumma kills and orcs coming. So I'm going to have to engage that. hopefully win. Saruman should be more than enough to make that happen. And the pikemen easily taking out trolls. Where's my Saruman? There he is. Also using my wizard tower power to do a little bit of damage. The tower power from the fortress, tower power, this thing can be quite effective if used correctly. It has a pretty decent range as well. And there's a giant flood of Mordor over here, so it looks like he's actually making a lot of progress. Although he is running a lot of guys through fire. Is, as you see, he's losing quite a few orcs there. But he's being supported by Gondor there. So he should be able to make progress, as long as he keeps the orc production coming. And as you see, I got Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike in 1.6 is extremely overpowered, taking out Fortress without any trouble at all. Also taking out the Momokill pen and the other thing. And the Momokill. So that's probably the most expensive thing I could have hoped to hit here. The fire damage and it's just outrageous from that spell or magic power or whatever you want to call it. I think it's a bit too overpowered, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't think anyone else's level 25 power is anywhere near that destructive. He should be the same destructive level as Earthquake, I feel. But it's not. Because Earthquake will take like, I don't know, half to 3/4 of a fortress health down. Something like that. And that will just completely outright destroy a fortress. So you can see the difference there. It's a little strong. So I trained my troops with my speechcraft ability. Pretty soon I'll dominate and I can take control of enemy units. That'll be useful. But this Mordor should be dead in a second here after this troll cage and Corsair Tavern, yep, is taken out. Then that will be one less AI. Looks like dwarves are actually fighting off Isengard. Not Isengard. Dwarves are fighting off Longcon and what's this guy's name again? Juggernauts, that's right. I remembered. So, they probably won't kill this guy off anytime soon. They might. There's still lots of men coming out from Longcon. But I will continue moving in from the back. And then I will be able to kill off another AI, and that will just leave 2 AIs after that. But I still have to kill this guy off. Shouldn't be too much trouble with a ballista as well as a fully upgraded army. And there we go. Brutal has been defeated. So that's one more down. Oh, there's another Mordor Corsair bombardment ship as well as a Mordor Doom ship. But the Mordor Doom ship I shouldn't have to worry about unless I get too close to the ocean, I believe. I'm not sure how those are triggered. I do lose my alerts there to some Corsairs, which is not good, because I won't get the leadership bonus anymore. But I do still have my Saruman. And crunch goes the catapult. Mordor is actually very hard to kill if they have a lot of these arrow towers and other arrow towers. I found out the other day, as you would see from a game I uploaded. I ended up quitting with the dwarves because I couldn't kill this Mordor guy who just built tons of towers and turtled up. I couldn't take him out. And he managed to get my fort with some attack trolls. So that was a real pain. It was very discouraging. I didn't want the game to go on too long, so I decided to leave. But yeah, Mordor forts are very, very defensible. Let's put it that way. So we do have Balrog from the Longcon. Balrog doing good damage to the fort. He should be able to take it out. Good use of Balrog there. Most of the time I don't go for the fortress with Balrog. I find it better to take out all the rest of the buildings, and then by the time you do that, there's nothing left to defend the fortress. So that's usually how I do that. Looks like I also got the Mordor fort down here. So it's just a matter of cleaning up these buildings. And this building should be the last one for Rus Mordor. And then they will be out of the game as well. So I'm just sweeping through like a tide here, killing off all the Mordor teams as I go through, since they were all three lined up. And there we go. Brutal has been defeated. That is yet one more team out of the game. So that just leaves a Mordor here. And a... No, it just leaves a Mordor here, basically. All the dwarves have left now, because Longcon has made extreme progress and managed to take out their base. Is this, what's it called? Dwarven Barracks, of course. Everyone knows that. And there's a giant white blob coming out. So, between these archers and orcs, you should have no trouble getting through down to here. I don't know if I have the force necessary left to take out Saruman's down here by himself, apparently. Wailing away on this farm. Yeah, I don't know if I have the force left to take out this base. I would if I just ran them all towards the fortress, because there's no actual fortress upgrades on it. Which is kind of curious, if you think about it. It's not like he wouldn't have the money or the time. This guy has not been attacked at all. Until now. So, who knows why he doesn't have any fortress upgrades or add-ons. But I really should send my Saruman to deal with these Men of Dale. Because I'm losing troops to these Men of Dale. Do have Berserker here as well. Berserkers do good damage. Not great. Lots of Berserkers are pretty strong against forts. And this, there we go. The Dwarf Brutal has been defeated. Excellent. So he should be able to move south and help me kill off this Mordor. Because it doesn't look like I have enough troops left to actually do the job. And I don't have any siege weapons left either. Doesn't look like I'm building... Or I did build some troops, but I haven't sent them on their way. Not yet. But these pikemen are pretty resilient. But it's the rocks that are doing the damage from this cave troll. I've always wondered, does that do anything? Does war chanting a troll do anything? Because the AI does it. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't do anything. It's like war chanting a hero. It doesn't actually do anything, right? I've been playing this game for many, many years, and there's still a few questions I have answers, or don't have answers for, like that one. I'm fairly certain that war chanting a troll does nothing. So I'm unsure why the AI does it. Maybe it's just because their coding is dumb. Who knows? But we do have the Black Riders down here with the Mouth of Sauron. So I will bring in the rest of my troops. And we should be able to take out this Mordor team. There's definitely enough archers to do the job. As well as a fell beast out up there if he decides to move in. It's like everyone's throwing down all their powers at once. And this should be GG to the Brutals. As soon as these last two buildings are gone, that should be end of the game. Yeah, there we go. Game over. Excellent. So there you go. 3 players for 5 Brutals. Pretty fun game to watch. I liked it. And I hope you liked it as well. So, I will see you in the next replay. See you later.